Welcome to our journey into the human brain. Today, we are going to explore the hypothalamus, a tiny but incredibly powerful structure that keeps you alive and balanced every single day. We will build our understanding from the ground up, starting with its anatomy and ending with the mathematics of how it controls your body. To understand the hypothalamus, imagine you are the CEO of a massive global corporation. You cannot visit every factory floor, so you send high-level memos to regional managers. The hypothalamus is your body's CEO. It is an almond-sized structure deep inside your brain that receives electrical reports from your nervous system and translates them into chemical memos to keep your body perfectly balanced. Now that we understand its role as the CEO, let us look at where this office is located. Anatomically, the hypothalamus is part of the diencephalon, sitting just below the thalamus and directly above the pituitary gland. It is not just a single block of tissue. Instead, it is highly organized into specialized clusters of neurons called nuclei, such as the paraventricular and supraoptic nuclei, each handling very specific regulatory jobs. Zooming in on these nuclei, we find something truly fascinating about the cells themselves. The neurons here are unique because they are neurosecretory cells. This means they fire electrical action potentials, just like normal neurons. But instead of releasing neurotransmitters into a synapse, they release hormones directly into the bloodstream. This is the exact mechanism of how electrical signals become chemical messages. These chemical messages need a delivery route, which brings us to its physical connections. The hypothalamus is connected to the pituitary gland by a stalk called the infundibulum. This stalk is a critical highway. It contains both direct neural connections and a highly specialized network of blood vessels known as the hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system, ensuring the CEO's memos reach the regional manager instantly. Let us visualize everything we have discussed so far. On your screen is a cross-section of the human brain. Notice the almond-shaped hypothalamus situated centrally. You can clearly see the distinct colored clusters representing the paraventricular, supraoptic, and arcuate nuclei. Below them, follow the stalk-like infundibulum down to the pituitary gland. The red and blue vessels within the stalk represent the portal blood system, the exact physical bridge between the brain and the endocrine system. Seeing this structure helps us appreciate why it is so vital for our daily survival. Without the hypothalamus, your nervous system and endocrine system would be completely isolated from each other. It acts as the vital bridge between these two worlds, ensuring your physical body reacts appropriately to your environment. If this tiny structure were damaged, you would lose the ability to regulate temperature, sleep, and hunger, leading to catastrophic systemic failure. To make this concrete, let us consider a real-world scenario. Imagine you step out into the freezing cold. Your nervous system immediately senses the temperature drop and fires electrical signals to the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus responds by secreting specific hormones that travel down to the pituitary, eventually telling your thyroid gland to ramp up metabolism and generate heat. It is a perfect, seamless chain of command. This seamless chain of command relies on maintaining a stable amount of hormones in the blood, known as homeostasis. We can represent this balance mathematically. The formula states that C equals S divided by K. Here, C is the steady-state concentration of the hormone in the blood. S is the secretion rate from the hypothalamus, and K is the clearance rate constant, representing how fast organs like the liver destroy the hormone. If the hypothalamus pumps out more hormone, the concentration increases. If the liver clears it faster, the concentration decreases. Now that we have our formula, let us apply it to a clinical example. Suppose the hypothalamus secretes a hormone at a steady rate of 120 nanograms per hour, and the patient's liver clears it at a rate constant of 0.15 per hour. We want to find the steady state concentration. We choose our formula, C equals S divided by K, because it perfectly balances input and output. Substituting our given values, we divide 120 by 0.15. This gives us a final stable concentration of 800 nanograms per liter. This means the body maintains exactly 800 nanograms in every liter of blood. Sometimes in clinical endocrinology, we need to look at this relationship from a different angle. Instead of finding the concentration, a doctor might need to determine the required secretion rate to keep a patient healthy. The formula for this is S equals C times K. Here, S is the required secretion rate, C is the target steady-state concentration we want to achieve, and K is the patient-specific clearance rate. If a patient needs a higher concentration of hormones, or if their body clears it very quickly, the hypothalamus must secrete more. Let us see how this new formula is used to help a patient with a damaged liver. The liver damage has reduced their clearance rate to 0.05 per hour. The doctor wants to maintain a target concentration of 400 nanograms per liter. We need to find the required secretion rate. We use our target secretion formula, S equals C times K. We plug in our target concentration of 400 and multiply it by the impaired clearance rate of 0.05. This gives us a required secretion rate of 20 nanograms per hour. Because the liver is clearing the hormone slowly, the hypothalamus only needs to secrete a small amount to maintain healthy levels. Having successfully used this target secretion formula, let us understand exactly where it comes from. We are going to derive it using basic algebra. We start with our original steady-state equation, where concentration C equals the secretion rate S divided by the clearance rate K. Our goal here is to isolate the variable S on one side of the equation, so we can calculate it directly when C and K are known. Continuing our derivation, we need to remove K from the denominator. To do this, we multiply both sides of our equation by the clearance rate, K. On the right side, the K in the numerator and the K in the denominator cancel each other out perfectly. This leaves S completely isolated. We simply flip the equation around to get our final result. S equals C times K. This simple mathematical rearrangement is the absolute foundation for adjusting medication dosages in endocrinology. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us review the most important ideas. First, the hypothalamus is the master control center, acting as the vital bridge between your nervous and endocrine systems. Second, it achieves this by translating electrical signals from the brain into chemical hormone secretions. Finally, it maintains perfect internal stability, or homeostasis, through a precise mathematical balance between secretion and clearance. You now have a solid understanding of both the anatomy and the mathematics of the hypothalamus. Excellent work!